Good evening. Welcome to the Steel City Huddle podcast. I'm Leanne Loman, and I am not joined tonight by Zach Francis because Zach is still sick. We missed a couple of shows. Really miss Zach. So if you know Zach, think about him, send him some well wishes. But I am joined tonight by David Korb, who used to do a podcast with Zach and I, and we are super excited. I am super excited. There's no we. Zach isn't here to be back with David and chat about Steelers because there's a lot going on. David, how are you?
Good, good. Glad to be here. How are you?
I am fantastic. So here we are, like 3 game win streak, right? This has been
Yeah,
like a wild and weird season. I think as a Steeler fan, it's been like every emotion you could experience, like, is all wrapped up into this
yeah,
season. Like, we're never making it anywhere. There's no hope, to all of a sudden, like, wow, maybe we've got something. And then, probably like one of the craziest games I've seen in a long time. We pulled out a win, but how did you feel about that game overall?
Well, during this game, I was heavily intoxicated, so the
That's the
uh,
only way to watch them.
the emotions were running pretty high. I was a mess by the end of the game. Um, I look between the Gainwell catch, the penalties that were getting called on both sides. Honestly, um, the runs by Warren, and then the final call at the end of the game. I mean, it was just an insane game.
Yeah.
Uh, I just it was a hell of a game for just to damn near give you a heart attack, really. But I just when the Steelers got that lead, I just knew. You just know. You just I it's always like this with them. Usually, the Dolphins game was the only game where like they get up 28-3. You're like, oh, okay, 28-3. I should feel comfortable. But with this, you're like, I don't feel comfortable. And sure
Yeah.
enough, it came down to the
Yeah.
final seconds.
Yeah, no, and I kept thinking like they've had comebacks this year, right? Like that Lions team is tough, man. That's a good unit, and a good team, and I think a team that really felt like they had something to prove and had a chip on their shoulder a little bit too. And I know that there's a lot of hate for Aaron Rodgers, so I can only imagine you feel going up against I
Oh
don't know,
yeah,
Lamar goes to another team and then he comes into Pittsburgh. You're not going to be
right.
happy to see him. So I totally got all of that. So I knew that they were coming in with a certain set of emotions. And yeah, that was exciting to pull that out. It definitely felt like a little bit more of a decisive win. I think it's easy to put asterisks next to teams like Miami,
Hmm.
and talk about all the problems they're having there.
Right.
But you look at the Lions as a pretty solid unit.
Yeah, I just like you said, like Detroit fans hate Aaron Rodgers. I mean, all these years of him basically owning them, if we're being honest here.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then like just the insanity in the beginning of the game. Like in the beginning of the game, I wasn't too happy with Arthur Smith's play calling. And like it seemed like we were struggling a little bit there. And then like you had DK with the drop pass, and then you had DK, the thing with the fan we're gonna get to later down the road. But
Yeah.
just in general, like that whole first half, you're like, Jesus, like this is not great. And then all of a sudden, second half, man, just something clicked and
Hmm.
we're off to the races.
Yeah.
So, but
I,
yeah,
I talk on here a lot about how much it frustrates me that I feel like you watch other teams play games and it's not going well for them, or the other team is starting to catch up and they go into the locker room and you make adjustments at halftime and you come back out and you
yeah,
have a little bit some changes. I feel like the Steelers are like, nope, we wrote a plan, and man, that is we don't adjust, and that we're
your fault.
sticking to that, and we're going to keep jamming that square peg into that round
Mhm.
hole
Yeah,
no matter what happens. And I really felt like this was a game where they went in and made some adjustments and came out, and I was like,
yeah.
and look, it worked. I mean, far from perfect, but
Well, so for me, it's basically these last three games, Aaron Rodgers has happened. I feel like Aaron Rodgers went, no, I want this. No, I want these guys starting. No, I want. I really think he's taken over the offense
yeah.
and been like, look, this is what I want. I want us more in 11 personnel. I want, MVS. I want Thielen. I want DK out there. These are the guys I want. Like he's been making these comments for the last 2 weeks now about professionalism and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and you see why. You see it is making a difference. They are looking, better. And Between what he did, I mean, the Lions let them convert. I think it was 7 out of 11 third down conversions. 4 of them were 10 plus third down conversions. I mean, he was throwing all over to whether it was Thielen or DK or Gainwell naturally. But like that, and then on top of me, I was so proud of the defense. I'm not. Detroit's defense is depleted in the secondary. That's the concern. The concern is our defense trying to stop that offense.
Yeah, especially the run game.
And when you see what they did, you hold Jamar Gibbs and you hold and Monty to only 15 yards total in a game. No one's done that this season. I don't know if anybody's done that with him, to be honest with you. That's the incredible part. I'm more so proud of the defense because that was going to decide, for me at least, what was going to win this game for us. If that defense could just contain them enough to let our offense outscore them, and it happened. Came down to the wire, but.
Yeah, because I think that's been part of what was going wrong earlier in the season. Like the offense was inconsistent; it was up and down. It wasn't like the offense was firing on all cylinders and the defense was letting us down. But the defense, I just gonna keep saying it, like the most expensive defense in the league, right? And you don't expect them to be perfect, but I mean, I certainly expected them to take a big step forward, and it looked early this season like they didn't take that step forward, and it already had us like early in the year worried about where the season was going to head. And to me, they've really pulled it together, where last year I felt like they fell apart, like things got hard. There was adversity with the offense. And then, you saw that defensive collapse in those last several games that we lost. But this time it seems like they turned around.
Yeah, it's very different from last year. I mean, last year they were in the midst of a 3-game losing streak en route to technically going 0-6, counting the Ravens game.
Yeah.
This year is completely different. They're thriving. They're 3-0 in their last 3, and having some big wins here. Going into Detroit, that's a huge. I had that as a loss from the beginning of the season. I wrote them off completely, and then to go do it. So it's completely different. I mean, they're not struggling. They're not limping. They're thriving. And that's the big difference.
Yeah, it definitely looks much different than like some of our accidental wins almost of the past. Nathan says that after this game, the Steelers should re-sign Gainwell to a 2 to 3 year deal. Him and Warren could be special. Having those two in the backfield allow you to focus elsewhere. I think he's definitely been a pleasant surprise, better than I think most of us anticipated. I mean, I was optimistic, but he's been far better than my wildest imaginations. What do you think about that, signing him to a 2 to 3 year deal?
Oh, there's no doubt. I would do it. I would love to have him and Warren for multiple years each. If they could get him in that between that 7 to 10 mil per year range, do it. For once, let's spend money on offense. And this guy's been, I mean, what would they do without him? Honestly, he's the second best receiver on the team technically in yards.
I know, which is crazy.
I mean, if you look at this game alone, the leading receiver was Gainwell and the leading rusher was Warren. Right. So, like, those are your two, like, juggernauts right now. And then Metcalf when he pulls his head out of his ass. But, like, but I'm just saying, like, you got to keep this guy. You can't let him go.
You got to keep him. He's found some spark, magic there, whether it's, whatever with the team, it's Aaron Rodgers, it's a combination, whatever it is, it's definitely some magic for him. And I think you got to keep that and harness that, not try to, you're right. This isn't the time to try to nickel and dime him down on some contract and beat him up. I mean, this guy's ascending, and I think we want to try to kind of ride that for as long as we can.
Well, he was in Saquon Barkley's shadow. I mean, like, they're not going to play him over Saquon Barkley. They're just not. But the Steelers saw him last year whenever they were killing us, and he got in there, and he killed us. And Tomlin's like that, though. I mean, if you've ever noticed, like, there are certain guys, when they do things to us, Tomlin and them remember it, and then if they're available, they go after them. That's just what they do.
He's done it a few times,
And this time it's went pretty well. I mean, he's only getting paid, I think, $1.6 million. I mean, that's it. That is
yeah.
ridiculously low for what he's doing. So,
but like Saquon went in different situations somewhat, but I mean, he went into Philly almost on like a prove it deal. Do you know what I mean? Out of the Giants, he wanted all this money and everything, and Philly hired him. And then when he excelled and outplayed that contract they gave him, they went back and renegotiated a new contract with him going forward. And I think Gainwell in this situation deserves a light version of that, that he's really just been so explosive for us that, you feel like you have to reward it.
The thing about Gainwell is that I really wish that I know they don't like to do contracts middle of the season. This is one where I think that like the con artist should be like, you know what? We're gonna get break tradition here. We're gonna lock you up right now.
Well, it feels like such a special situation almost, you know what I mean? Like a unique situation, you know what I mean? Like it's and sometimes I think you're right. You have to do something like that a little bit differently.
Yeah, I would break the tradition.
Yeah.
I don't. They don't want to lose.
Yeah.
That's why I look at it.
So let's go ahead and get this over with and talk about DK Metcalf. Man, what a shit show. So clearly already frustrated. He shows up on video during the game, engaging with the fan. I don't know why he was over there to begin with. And then the guy's clearly saying something to him. And the video they were showing on Sunday kind of looked like he swatted at the guy and missed him. But then when you see other videos of it, it looks like he kind of pulls him down and kind of gives him a smack in the face or something. So I don't know. So immediately the guy comes out and gets a lawyer, which is what all innocent people do, and then says that, he wants to get ahead of this, that he was calling him by his government name, and that he certainly wasn't using like racial slurs or anything like that to degrade him. So Metcalf has told a different story. This guy has told a different story. The game that the league gave him a 2-game suspension, which Metcalf appealed. I thought a 2-game suspension was light compared to what I thought he was going to get, like when I was talking about it yesterday. And then I got reminded that like Lamar hit a fan and so hit a fan.
Like
all these people did it and nothing happened to them. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's so like, first to the first part, there's a couple different angles, and there's one angle where it doesn't look as bad. There's one angle where it looks like he tried to uppercut his head off, right? So like that's the bad part. Like you're like, NFL, did you look at both angles? Because if you only saw the one angle, you're probably like, okay, he tried to kill this guy.
Because the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, he didn't even touch him.
Yeah.
Like the very first video I saw, I was like, oh, I don't even think he touched him. I think he like tried, like swatted. And then I saw that other video and I was like, oh.
I think he was trying to just shove him away. He grabbed his hair and it looked like from the other angle, he pushed him out. Like, that's what it looked like he was trying to do. But the other angle made it look like he really tried to kill him. But my thing is this, and this is if it's true. I'm not saying it is. I have no fucking idea. Right?
Who knows?
Like, if it's true that this is the same guy that he had to tell Seattle security about, that's weird. And I'm saying if that's true, I don't want nobody to come after me for, whatever, defamation of whatever. I'm just saying if it's true that this guy is like some kind of weird stalker or something, or then I can kind of like see where he's kind of really uncomfortable with this. And I don't want to, he shouldn't have went over there. But at the same time, if it's true this guy has stalked him, if it's true the guy said some pretty vulgar things, if you will, like DK's younger, he's guys get pissed off, and if they feel like there's a line that you crossed, all bets are off, and that's just so I think
it has to go both ways, right? So like I don't think that anybody, like a player should not be going over to a fan and engaging with them in a way like that. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't happy when George Pickens was talking shit to a fan last year. Like it's just like, just stop. Like, that's not what you're here for. Like, you have a job because of those fans, whether you like it or not. Like, go do that job. I can't be at work just yelling at people. You know what I mean? Like, it's like none of us could do that at work. So I feel some type of way about that. But by that same token, I feel like the players also have a right to be protected. Like we saw, Ben getting pelted with beer bottles and things.
Right.
And, when he goes getting carted off the field that time. So, like things happen. I mean, not just to the Steelers, to lots of to players. And there's no protection from that. I mean, people are just free to run their mouths. I mean, sending death threats to players' wives and mothers and, talking about their kids and stuff on social media. Like there's just no boundary that like people don't feel free to cross. And so why is this guy even at the stadium hanging over the railing? You know what I mean? Like just stop.
Yeah.
Like you're a grown man.
Did you see the video where he's celebrating? He says that was the goal.
That was the goal.
Now come on.
So is this like your job? You're a grifter who harasses NFL players.
Right.
Like you buy this expensive ticket because you're going to get paid out of this? Because that's how you
yeah, I'm nicknaming this guy the blue-haired jihadist. He went in there and he tried to sabotage something with DK, and it freaking worked.
And it worked, man. It was genius. I mean, if that was his goal, but you know what? Like I'd like start thinking this thing out, and I'm like, okay, so this works, right? This guy gets paid, DK gets suspended. All of these things happen as a result of this. Then how many like copycat stupid fans are going to be out there and be like, I could do this at the Titans game, or at the Raiders game or whatever, right? I'm going to go and, I know so-and-so, I know George Pickens is a hothead. So I'm going to go to the Cowboys game and I'm going to scream over the railing at him.
And they're going to force the hand where NFL is going to have to start doing stuff for like, if you're going to buy an NFL ticket, you have to enter your driver's license. And then like if somebody gets reported as being a stalker or whatever, and when they go to buy a ticket, they have to submit their driver's license. Bang, they know that's the guy that's been stalking players. And guess what? You're not allowed on an NFL game. They're going to have to.
Somebody said this guy should be, not allowed to attend games anymore. It was like, well, who's verifying that?
Exactly.
Do you know how many times I've bought tickets for other people to go to games? I mean, every time I go to Pittsburgh, I buy a ticket for my friend Tracy. She pays me back, but the tickets are technically in my name. You know what I mean? So even if security said, oh, she was doing something, I mean, depending on the severity of what you do, they don't know who you are.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to force something to change, whether it's a different kind of security to check people's, IDs or something, like to make sure we're not letting these kind of guys in there. Because, dude, if you're stalking players, if this is all true, if it is true,
even if it's not true, even if this guy didn't do that, right? Like, even if that's not who this guy is, I think now like a seed got planted for shady people. Do you know what I mean? So even if this guy didn't do this, I think somebody will be like, but he might not have, but that wasn't such a bad idea. And
I'm also starting to notice that players are starting to actually go over and get physical with people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember there was a corner. I'm trying to remember another. It was like a Pro Bowl corner. I can't remember his name, but he played for the Rams too. And I think he played for the Baltimore too. But there was one where a fan ran their mouth and he walked up there and the guy just sat down. He was like, that's what I thought. And he turned around and he walked away. And like you have the thing with Lamar, and I've seen college players too start getting it to people in the car. Like I'm starting to see a lot more players don't have that discipline to just ignore it.
Yeah.
And again, at that age, I remember what it was like being at age and somebody says something about my mom or says, you're going to have a reaction to that. Some guys can have the discipline to just ignore it. Some don't. So, and let's be honest, DK plays with an edge anyway. I mean, you've seen him.
He does.
Like he plays with an edge. So like, if he's I don't know if you watched James Harrison and and Hayden's. I mean, he literally said, if I was, I would have killed that guy, basically. Is what he said. So like, I mean, it's just,
and like, there's a part of me that loves that. Like, I love that. Like, I loved those guys, Harrison and Clark and, all the headhunt. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I love it. I love playing with that level of aggression and everything else. But just like you have to ignore it on the field, you think the guys lined up across from him are talking shit all the time, and you learn to tune that out and play the game, right? You're a Lions fan. You got to learn to tune that out and just move on and let it go. But I agree. I think if it is shown that this guy is the guy who was at that other stadium, then it makes a little more sense to me why he would have gone over there and engaged with him, because I'm sure this isn't the first time a fan said something nasty to him.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he's a good pill, but I hope that like this stuff's true. Hey, this guy's done this before. This is set. Like I'm hoping that and then I hope they see the video of him saying that was the goal. I mean, like, I hope they take that into consideration. This was not, if it's true, because this was not a random fan. This wasn't a random thing. Yeah. And that's what I'm hoping ends up being true. Yeah. And I'm hoping they reduce it to one game. And here's why. I don't like to just assume things are just going to work out for us. So say something happens where we do lose that game to Cleveland, right? We're going to really want to have him for that Baltimore game.
We're going to have him, yeah.
Because here's the thing. We're not going to have Calvin Austin III, possibly with his injury. Now we're not going to have DK. So we're going to go into this game against Cleveland with MVS, Thielen, and then what? Scotty Miller? Roman Wilson? They're going to have him.
We'll bring Skoranek up.
Skoranek too. Yeah, right. But like, doesn't sound like
Connor Hayward.
Okay. Yay. Like, I'm just saying, I really would prefer to have DK.
Yeah.
For that Baltimore game, just in case something, because think about this. We haven't won in Cleveland since what, 2021?
Yeah.
So, there we go. Trent just said Al Lazard.
Al Lazard.
I've been calling it for a while now. As soon as he asked for his release, I was like, he wants to go play.
I saw you posted on Twitter.
Yeah, I was like, my dude wants to go play with Uncle Aaron. It's time. I'm just waiting. I've been waiting to hear that they signed.
Yeah.
But I don't. I really want them to reduce it to one game because just in case seems like we just haven't won in Cleveland. Now they just lost Judkins. He's done.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, their superstar player that they have.
Yeah.
They're going to have to worry about him. But at the same time, if we don't put up a lot of points against their good defense.
Their defense is really good.
It is good. So
it is really good. If their offense had half their shit together, that defense could almost carry that team. I mean, they're really good.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Buffalo just went into there and barely beat them.
And that's not the only time. I keep telling people this game is not a gimme. Don't look at their record and think this game is a gimme.
They beat the Packers earlier this year in Cleveland.
Yep.
Like they in Cleveland, they're tough. They're a tough team to beat. And I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna shit on Shador Sanders or pump him up or whatever. But stranger things happen, man. You go in against a tough defense. You don't have your best players. Shit could happen. Luckily, thank God we got Warren and Gainwell. But in general, that I'm still nervous. So for me, I'm praying it gets reduced to one game for him, and we have him back just in case. I don't know if you saw my tweet earlier. I was praying that we would beat Detroit and the Browns and could just rest everyone against the Ravens.
That's what I was hoping. That's what I'm hoping. I mean, certainly
because a Ravens-Steelers game, we always, them and us both lose the next week. How many? I don't know what our records are, but I bet you it's a losing record the week after a Ravens-Steelers game.
Oh, always.
In fact, it's the last team I want to face right before the playoffs. That's why I hate that they keep putting us against them last game of the freaking season, because it's like, that's great. So half our guys are just busted, and then we're not going to be able to get healthy for the playoffs. So,
and this is such a weird, it's such a weird year to me. I almost can't wrap my head around. You have to win the division or you're out. The Steelers always have a wild card spot. How do we have no path to a wild card spot like that? But that almost in another way, I always try to look at things on the positive side. So then on the other hand, I say to myself, that maybe that is the factor for how this team is different, right? We're not going to limp into the playoffs this year if we make it. We're going to make it on our own merit, win this division and make it in because we deserve it or not.
Yeah, and I mean, this weekend's gonna be pretty interesting because all these teams that are close in the wild card, I think it's the Chargers face. I want to say the Chargers face the Texans this week. And
It
then you've
sounds
got
right.
the Bills playing the Eagles. That's going to be a tough game for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then all these teams are intertwined with each other, so it's going to be an interesting weekend. As of right now, I think we'd face the Chargers if the playoffs were today, but they've got these big games coming up where I don't know about you, but like there's certain teams I do not want to face in the playoffs.
Oh, 100%.
So like I'm scared to death of the Bills. I'm scared to death of Josh Allen. It
Yeah.
feels like they have our number every goddamn time we face them.
It really does. And I think that this is not like a great Bills team this year. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, they haven't,
Jekyll and Hyde.
haven't been great. But sometimes that's almost like the worst team for us to play. The Browns are like that for us too, which is why they make us nervous, because when they're seemingly at their lowest and worst is when the Steelers struggle with them,
Right.
you know, like every time.
Yeah. I fear at Browns and I fear Joe Flacco. Those are two things that
I don't know what it is with that guy.
So
yeah.
Back
to DK real quick. Trent says the stadium isn't liable, but I think it allows players to criminally pursue fans, which they should have some legality to this whole situation. I'm sure the NFL has people much smarter than me and they've already thought about this, but man, I'm telling you what's the truth. This is like the scariest can of worms to open, where all of a sudden you've got fans coming in, popping off with players, and then getting money for it. Like that is, I don't know what it, maybe the waiver will change, do you know what I mean, or something. But I mean,
it's just funny. The guy says that was the goal, and then has a lawyer ready to go.
Ready to go.
I mean, that sounds like the biggest setup ever. Like I don't know, man. Like it sounds like
came right out with the race thing too. Like I'm telling everybody it wasn't racial, and I was like, I didn't even see anybody saying it was at that point till he started saying it wasn't, right? And then I started watching other videos and stuff. I will say the one video I watched, the people sitting around that guy were looking at him with like total disgust, like right before it happened, which makes me think he was saying something that people were like, holy shit, he said that out loud.
I was about to say, why did everybody have their videos going before it happened?
How
did everyone know that, oh, you know what? I better have my phone recording right now.
Recording this.
Also, there was a security guard walking towards DK. I don't know if you pay attention. Like there was a security guard. It looked like security walking that way. And I'm kind of mad. I'm kind of like, hey, maybe see what's going on and walk over. Hey, don't, let's not. It could intervene there. Maybe they didn't pay attention. I have no idea. But there was a security guard walking through there. If you watch the video floor level with DK, there was a security guy there. It would have been really nice if he'd have walked over and like intervened before anything got crazy.
Like, what are you doing over here? Where are you going? You know what I mean? Something. You're right. That makes sense. Trent went on to say it's not a get rich quick scheme. There needs to be something held against the antagonist. Sure. And I'm not saying this is a get rich scheme. I'm saying that someone else will consider this a future get rich scheme.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not what this guy did, which I still think is possible, then I think that, I think it could. Nathan says that he feels like Tomlin got a fire lit under DK and flipped a switch. We've gone for more on fourth down. The way he's spoken makes me think he's ready to take on anyone. I like him. I think he's a good fit for the team. I like him a lot.
Oh, yeah. I love DK. I mean, I love his effort. I like him. It just sucks that, he plays that edge, and sometimes, he's like Ramsey, right? Ramsey's the same way. He plays with an edge.
It's a fine line.
You spit him in the face, he's gonna knock you the fuck out. Like it's just one of those things. Those guys play with an edge. It's a violent sport, and sometimes they go over the. They lose control. That's just natural. It really is. But no, I like DK. As far as like the aggressiveness he mentioned, man, has this team gotten? I'm so happy to see Tomlin finally. Loosen the just let them now start going for it a lot. I think that's Aaron Rodgers. I think Rodgers is pushing it. I think it's him going, look, nowadays the statistics show going for it on fourth down, you have better chance. They've got now their own tush push. It's called the Spartan. I don't know if you heard about that or not.
Yes, I did.
So the Spartan is now really awesome and works. So like, yeah, this is great. This is what needs to happen. Like I told you, they went more 11 personnel now. It's really working. I mean, you found out that when you go 12 personnel, sometimes it's hard for a lot of tight ends to get open when teams
Yeah.
know it's coming. So good to see. Thielen having almost 50 yards receiving this game.
Unbelievable.
Like, damn. All right,
Just
so
unbelievable. And it is like a little bit of like the island of misfit toys, but like, guys that really legitimately want to, go out with the bang or prove themselves or whatever it is. And yeah, I feel like Rodgers is like refreshed. I don't know if it's like, it's a good atmosphere here for him with Tomlin, but like he looks lighter, he looks younger, he looks happier than he did when he was in New York. There in
yeah.
New York, to me, he looked, I mean, that season, the one season he played in New York, the second season, he looked miserable. Like the weight of the world was on his shoulders every time he trudged out in the field. So, like, setting aside all the other stuff with him, my concerns over like potential drama and stuff, he didn't look like he wanted to play football when he was in New York, and that felt like
Oh
worrisome.
yeah. I mean,
But he looks like a whole different guy, and I mean, is stepped up and earned everybody's respect. I mean, it's really, to me, what he sparked with this offense. I think it's opened up opportunities from everybody, from Arthur Smith, like all the way through the depth chart, for people to have opportunities within this situation. And whatever he and Arthur Smith have worked out is obviously working.
well, a big thing is protecting him. When you start protecting him and he gets comfortable back there, look out.
Yeah.
Dylan Cook has really stepped up. And it's getting to the point now where they're going to do that 5th-year option with Broderick Jones. I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so and Fotanu's playing really well on the
Yeah.
right. So like you're starting to see now where like he doesn't got to worry about getting killed the whole game. And when that happens and he's not like seeing ghosts, because that was my big thing with him when they were losing those games, was
Yeah.
he was moving into sacks, and actually did it once this game, but in general, he was doing it all the time. It was like, what are you doing? He was stepping into the sack or stepping back into one, and he was constantly moving around. And the O-line didn't know where he was at to block for him. But
Yeah.
now he's starting to sit a little more because he's got more time because of Cook and Fotanu playing so well.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. Plus his wrist. And this was the first game where he was allowed to take snap under center now.
Yeah. I saw that.
Didn't have to stay in shotgun the whole time. So then they're less predictable as well. So that's a big deal. So I think it was just he's old. He's 42. He's probably in a lot of freaking pain.
Yeah, I don't want to be hit all the time. I can tell you that. Like, I really I don't take the hits as well as I did when I was 25. So,
and if you remember way back, that was my concern with bringing him in. That was the only reason why I wasn't really sure about it, because I was like, dude, can we protect him? We don't know if Broderick Jones was going to be able to protect him, or Foatanu, or whoever. And it didn't look good.
Stay healthy. I mean, that was the other thing, was would he be able to stay healthy? Do you know what I mean? If he's not well protected, he's already struggled with some health stuff. Do you know what I mean? Will he be able to stay healthy?
So, but when he's 100%, or at least, better than what it was back, a couple of games back, dude, he can deal.
Yeah.
And it just seems like now that he has the guys he wants and they're doing how he wants things, like, it just seems like when he's comfortable, he plays so much better. So we'll see if we keep it going. I'm in. Like they draw me in here. I believe now that they can win.
You'd obviously be okay with him coming back another season next year. Do you think there's any chance he does that? Nathan brings it up. That beautiful throw to MVS, take him for one more year and build around him. Do you think there's any chance he'll want to play another season?
If they do well in the playoffs, yes. Yeah. I think if they win a playoff game, I don't know if they'll take winning a couple, like getting a deep push into play, but I think if they at least win a game, then I think he'll come back. As long as he doesn't get, drilled and killed and he's probably, you know what, maybe not. Maybe, but I think if they go out this year and they make a deep push, I think he'll want to come back.
Yeah, Zach and I talked about this mid-season, when this first started coming up, like the first inklings, or conversations from people online that, maybe he would want to play another season. And Zach and I had talked about it then. And I said, I think if he feels like there's hope, right? So like we don't make it to the Super Bowl this year, but I think if he feels like there's like legitimate hope, like these guys are saying they want to come back, these things are happening, I like this young group or whatever it is, or they're promising me something, then I think he, that would be enough to get him to want to come back.
Yeah, I mean, we already know he liked Tomlin.
Yeah.
And I think that he has found something here by pushing those buttons of saying that, the cast-offs, nobody wanted these guys. Like, he made those comments, and I think that's struck a chord with some of these guys, and that's motivated them. I think the fire Tomlin chants, I think that's motivated them.
Yeah.
I can't remember which reporter said it or if it's common knowledge amongst all of them or what, but somebody put it out there that after the Buffalo game, the defense had like a Festivus where they aired all their grievances, and they feel like that helped everyone truly understand each other. And look what's happened. I mean, that defense, I mean, besides the fact we're down to our 4th through 6th corners, and they end up being our best fucking corners on the team.
Right, which is crazy.
I can't even believe that's happened. But besides JPJ, obviously. But
yeah.
Like they are really communicating better with each other, and they look completely different. Like if you'd have told me we'd be rocking with Pierre and Eccles, that kind of shit, I'd have never. And it's no offense to them. I'm just, just putting it out there. Dead wrong about those guys.
But really has been like that next man up. Tomlin always talks about that, and you're like, yeah, all right, because your third stringer is not your first stringer. But I mean, we have really seen those guys really step up this year.
I just see.
Yeah, that was Zach or Honey sent it over that the Metcalf suspension was just upheld. So that's it for him. 2 games. Hopefully, we make it to the postseason. At least we should get him back.
Yeah.
But that stinks.
Tomlin did bring up Roman Wilson today too in his conference, I believe. So I mean, maybe they're not going to get Lazard. I don't know. I'm interested now to see what they do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they choose to handle it and how they go forward. I find the whole Roman Wilson thing to be one of the most confusing and befuddling things that have gone on with this team in a long time. And I think, we just don't know. And so there's no point in continuing to talk about it. And there's been enough other stuff to talk about, but it's just odd. I mean, he was there and I thought he looked okay, like he was making progress, and then he was,
Yeah, did you see that too with Nathan?
The $45 million in guarantees are voided in the future. He lost a lot of money from this per Schefter. Yeah.
It's insane. Like I couldn't fathom like losing $45 million. Like, I'd be sick.
Well, and just to think, it's not even going to just be $45 million, because then on top of that, it's going to be whatever he has to pay.
The game checks. He's no game checks next.
No game checks.
I did see a number like 555,000.
Yeah, a game. Something like that.
Something like that. So
that's another $1 million right there.
But that was the goal. That was the goal. That's the thing. It just strikes me. That guy saying that was the goal. And it just to see this in the NFL, be like, we don't give a shit. You're suspended 2 games. We don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I can see both sides of it. I really can. Do you know what I mean? You just can't put your hands on people. You got to be smarter than that. You got to walk away, whatever it is. But God, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what all really comes out of this. So the guarantees are void, but that doesn't mean the Steelers will choose to void them. Okay, so no, the Steelers won't void them. They always do the right thing.
Yeah, I would like to think unless they can use that money and spend it on other players to get okay. That's why I look at it.
So let's talk real quick before we have to go. We got this kind of like end of the season here, and man, just like injury city. I mean, TJ Watt with like the most bizarre, injury in the history of the world. I mean, that's crazy. I was telling somebody I had lung surgery many years ago, and afterwards I was left with like a lot of nerve damage in my back, and they always want to give you injections for nerve damage, right? So just sort of very similar to what TJ did with the dry needling. You go in and get these things done. I can't imagine the world where that needle goes deep enough to hit your lung. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot imagine that. Like, that feels like an epic screw up.
I like I'm waiting to see if some kind of lawsuit comes of this. I mean, it said the NFLPA was in contact with them, which usually means okay, the union's
Yeah.
involved. They're looking to do something. Um, haven't heard if a certain employee has been fired yet from the medical staff.
They all acted like it was like normal. Like, people
Yeah,
were on Twitter and they were like, yeah, it happens.
yeah.
No, it doesn't. Your lung
I,
is way in there.
I mean, even Patrick Queen said, "I don't do that shit. I don't do that stuff." So it's like, okay, so maybe it's not. Maybe it is a little rare.
I don't know. The Watt brothers are psycho, so
They
there's
are.
nothing that surprises me about what they do.
Yeah. So
I know James Harrison does it. I've seen him in videos doing the dry needling. It
yeah,
freaks me out. I know he does it. I know a lot of players do it, but yeah, I mean, that would be enough to really concern me from doing it in the future. So he's
but how?
injured.
But
He's out.
how? I just don't know how you drive a needle that deep.
I
Like,
cannot.
how do you go straight Michael Myers on a fucking player with a
You know, it's
needle?
like, was it Eraserhead, the movie with the guy with the pins all stuck in
Yeah,
his-
like,
I'm
dude.
telling you, I can't. I've had it done to me. I've had the needles, stuck in me for various treatments, and there's no way. I mean, it was one of the complaints I used to have was that because they actually removed like part of my lung, so my nerve plane was actually like where my lung is, not like in the muscle in my back, and so they would want to give me injections, and they would say, "Oh, we can't get a needle that deep." Well, apparently TJ Watt's doctor can, and I'm like, "Nor do I want you to put a needle that deep in my back. That freaks me out."
Yeah, that's another thing about this team too. We were 1-11 without TJ, and now we're 2-0 without him this season.
Yeah, weird. And that's
Another
what
change.
Nathan was just saying. The past two games we played really well without Watt.
Oh.
Highsmith, Sawyer, and Herbig have all stepped up as well. And I remember we used to not be able to play without him. And it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Highsmith was like an unsung hero of that win over the Lions. I thought he had a great game against the run. It was phenomenal. I think Sawyer's really stepped up. I think we saw a lot from Herbig. I was really concerned with us not having him. So
when Highsmith is 100% healthy, he is a fucking beast.
He is.
Like, when he's 100% healthy. That's his only downfall, honestly, is just trying to stay healthy. But I was proud of him and Sawyer stepping up too.
Yeah.
Sawyer did really well. The D line, like, without not having Herbig or Watt, it was like, man, we might need that D line to apply more pressure, but are we going to sacrifice the run game to do it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they were able to do both. And that's what's impressive is Cam, the way he's playing it was how old is he now? 40, what?
Yeah.
Or not, I'm sorry, not 40, 36 now or something like that?
36, something like that.
But just incredible. Harmon, I mean, they average 94 yards a game without him to 91 yard or whatever. Like, you really see it. He just owned the O lineman he was fit so well. I think his name was.
Penny
owned him.
Yeah.
Like, just looked incredible. For first round pick rookie, I mean, talk about a Omar Khan like hit on a pick.
Yeah.
So even Benton. I mean, I just those guys all really stepped up. Honestly, Eccles gets hurt, comes out of the game, and they still did okay. I mean, they did enough to stop him in the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, normally, like this kind of injuries, like this number of injuries, I mean, it's concerning, don't get me wrong, but it would normally have me really freaked out. But man, this season, it just feels like the next guy comes in and everything's kind of seamless and smooth. I mean, we feel like a little bit spoiled.
I mean, you bring in Kyle Duggar, and look what he's done. I mean, he's got a pick six. He had that freaking safety the other day.
That was like crazy.
Incredible call. I gotta give Terrell Austin or Tom, whoever called that, great call. You have the fumble by Washington, gives them the ball back, then you fucking call that huge. Incredible.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge.
But yeah, I just, like you said, I mean, the whole next guy up mentality, the standard is the standard, and for the first time in a long time, they're actually doing it. Like, they're actually stepping up, and we don't always need Watt to save us.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's always been. It's always been
And
please
maybe it
save
should
us.
be with the amount of money he gets paid. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
maybe that's not unreasonable, but we saw it when he was injured and said it when he was injured. Like you can't like have this everything just hinge on this one person.
Right. Yeah.
And then and I don't know, it felt like for years we couldn't get there, and it feels like we're there now.
Yeah. No, now we have enough pieces where we don't got to really worry about that. But I mean, like I said, when you hit on a player like Harmon, you've got Cam still playing the way he's playing. Benton's doing better. And then you got Queen and you got Peyton Wilson and you got just a lot of these guys have stepped up. They're doing well. And then Ramsey getting moved to safety and playing phenomenal, phenomenal job safety with Duger. It's nice now to have that comfortability. We don't got to go, oh no, we're done. Watt's hurt. It's over. We don't got to worry about that. Thank God, because this is a serious injury. Like, I don't know when this guy's going to get back. I think Jerry Dulac or somebody said he may start practicing next week.
Yeah.
But right now, he's just trying to get like healthy in general, not football healthy, like just healthy in general in life. And it's like,
I was very curious, like how intensive that like surgical procedure he had done was. Do you know what I mean? Like, how intensive was that? Because, even if you have like a little robotic surgery, like just a little tiny incision, where they go in, like if they cut through muscle, they cut through your chest wall, they cut through your abdomen. I mean, anything like that hurts. Like it hurts. People way underestimate like how much just puncturing your like muscle wall, like how much that causes pain. So I can't even imagine like what kind of surgical procedure they did on him where he's ready to come back and like do anything. Like this isn't like repairing a tendon in your hand or your elbow or something like that. So it's kind of crazy. He got a Pro Bowl nod regardless, one of 3 Steelers to get a Pro Bowl nod, with Jalen Ramsey and Skoranek being the other one. That was kind of interesting. I always feel like Steelers get snubbed, and I always feel like it's the ones that seem pretty obvious to me. But what did you think about that?
I was really happy with Skoranek because like he really has been awesome.
He deserves it.
Ramsey's kind of a given. He's a very popular player. It's kind of weird. Like I was kind of shocked by Watt because I feel like he kind of has had a down year.
For Watt.
For Watt, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I was surprised that, but he's so popular that like, okay, because you know how this is. These Pro Bowls are kind of a popularity thing.
Yeah.
As far as snubs goes, man, I mean, Highsmith, maybe you could argue.
Joey Porter Jr. I kind of felt like he's had a heck of a season. He's had a really good season and more consistent. Like he feels mature this year. Felt like that was a little bit of a.
Can we get Gainwell some love? Maybe. I think maybe he deserves the nod.
Maybe him too, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I thought Skoranek was really nice. I agree with you. I felt like he's somebody who's like, if you're really had a guy who like showed up this year, chose to put in like the effort, like
the hard worker
play, like you just it's undeniable. It's there.
Oh, he's a demon on special teams.
Yeah,
he really is.
Something's different with him. So
he's this year's Killebrew.
Yeah,
he's literally taking his place.
Well, thank God somebody is. You know what I mean? Because it's been unbelievable. He's been really good. Well, David, I appreciate you coming on and filling in for Zach tonight and joining us. It was nice to be back with you. It was good chatting with you.
Yeah, this is fun. Appreciate it.
I wish you and your family a Merry Christmas. And if you're watching, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Please do us a favor. Go and like and share and subscribe to the podcast. You can follow both David and I on X. You can find us there as well as the Steel City Huddle podcast page. And if you've been here participating tonight, we really do appreciate it. Have a good night and happy holidays.
Leanne and Zach would like to thank you for tuning in to the Steel City Huddle podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss a thing.